37 games as a valuation of over $1 billion.
This really is about continuing our journey as a community-first game studio. We're still in the exact same structure where if you guys tell us, hey, we want to go make this game mode, we can go do it.
What can I expect in the coming weeks, months, years? September 14th, if you did not hear the news, 1047 Games, the developers of Splitgate, have secured in its latest round of funding $100 million, and the video game company 1047 Games has a valuation of over $1 billion.
This really is about continuing our journey as a community-first game studio. We're still in the exact same structure where if you guys tell us, hey, we want to go make this game mode, we can go do it.
What can I expect in the coming weeks, months, years?
Yeah, so I mean, in the coming weeks, it doesn't really change anything. The focus is much more on the long term, right? The focus right now is on building a large-scale AAA studio. I mean, the way I look at it is everything is now on the table. We're 5 engineers, right? Like there's only so much we can do at such a pace. So we always had to cut corners. There's so much more we can do now. Everything, every crazy idea we've ever thought of, or every crazy idea we've ever heard from the community, like that is now on the table. Now, the biggest challenge is just hiring. We really do. We look at Splitgate as something that is 25% done. I think there's just so much more we can do. There's big ideas, there's new game modes, there's new maps.
People are, asking about like updates of the game. Is there anything we can tell them about an update coming up soon, maybe?
I think our next one is probably on Friday. Don't hold me to that. We're still finalizing that one. We are a very small team. Every engineer has to work on the game, but they also have to hire people. They also have to interview people, right? There really is a balance of, how much time do we devote towards building features right now and sprinting and just trying to put stuff out as quickly as possible, but also focusing on the long term, which is really what matters right now, which is, hiring, onboarding, mentoring. We're going to be doing more updates more often. It definitely takes time. We want to find the right people.
Do you know how many people now are working on the game?
I've kind of lost track. I think we're above 35 now. We're at 5 engineers. Our goal is to get to 30 engineers in the next few months. That's going to be the focus over the next few months is like, let's build this into a AAA studio. I'd like to get to 100 people total by the end of the year. We've actually been able to hire some really good artists. We hired one person who worked on the Destiny and Halo games. He's just a world-class artist, and he's brought some friends with him.
What kind of role do bots serve in our game?
So if somebody quits mid-game, helps keep the game active.
Next-gen upgrades, so PS5 specific builds, Xbox Series specific builds of Splitgate. Where are we on those?
We're figuring it out. I mean, we're pretty close to being ready to ship both of those builds, but we're trying to figure out like how much can we really squeeze out of these next-gen consoles. We don't want to do a bad job of porting it and just kind of a lazy port where it's like, okay, well, it's 4K, cool, right? We want to be able to have all the bells and whistles and take full advantage of these next-gen consoles. We'd rather do the next-gen consoles right, even if it takes a slightly longer time period, than just put it out there for the sake of putting it out there.
I've seen a lot of questions about account merging. So, cross progression was the sum up of that. Any plans to let people have the same account between their PlayStation and their PC or their Xbox?
Yeah, absolutely. At some point, I think, step one, we want to create kind of a Splitgate Connect website where you can actually connect all of your stuff. Step one is having account linking where you can do Twitch drops. Step two is then taking that system and expanding upon it for, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, where you can actually cross progress. It's definitely something we'd like to do at some point.
Just being unfair at times. Like we fully acknowledge what you guys think about that. So I guess the question is, what's our philosophy behind our matchmaking, and why might someone feel like they had an unfair game?
Well, for one, like we're always looking for feedback. Just saying that you don't like the matchmaking, it's giving you an unfair game, like that's helpful, but more specific definitely helps us actually take action. I think our philosophy is having sort of a a balance of loose skill-based matchmaking is how I like to describe it, where, you don't want to have something where there's just zero skill-based at all, such that you've got a Kuvo and a pro player going against a brand new user. That's not fun for anybody. But at the same time, we don't want to have something that's super hardcore where it's just constantly sweaty lobbies. I think we have a pretty good balance, but we're always looking for feedback on that.
Just so you guys know, there is no such thing as a perfect matchmaking system. We can't account for the human element, the human variable